All right, 1987 Mazda RX-7 that we took the engine out of, and in its place we put a 2010 SS Camaro V8 in there. Everything has been hooked up and plumbed as far as like the mechanical parts go. The last step of this is to get the wiring done. So today we have eBay's finest $99 Chinese wiring harness to go on America's finest V8 engine. To complicate matters, we also have the original Mazda wiring harness that is going to run like half the car. And the big part of that controls it all is the key cylinder, which is right here in my hand. So this needs to go in. We need to put some stuff together. Let's get started. Good news, many things are plugged in. Bad news, we need to choose $100 pickle beer. I'm gonna go, you know what? This is the last spicy pickle beer I have. It's been up here for a while. They haven't made them or they haven't sold them for a long time. So I've been saving this one for a special occasion, and I think $100 pickle beer it's a good occasion. It smells spicy. These are by far, I remember properly, these are by far the worst pickle beer. And I deserve it, or me from the past deserves it. So there's a chance. Well, let's talk about the wiring harness first. So you're doing Chinese eBay wiring harness for your engine, right? Most of the stuff is good, like the fuel injector connectors, those go on well. This coil connector, that goes on well. But like the what is this, the throttle body connector, you have to like really push it on, and you can't even tell it doesn't like click in there. Some other ones are kind of the same way. I tested the throttle pedal, and that you have to like shove it on there. But the problem is some of these connectors, they're just wrong. So like this is the O2 sensor, it's a male instead of a female. The alternator connector is just like entirely the wrong shape, it doesn't fit at all. The mass airflow sensor, like it looks like it should go on there, and it goes on there, but you shove it as hard as you can, it will not clip in. So there's a chance. This says GM Vortec drive-by-wire. This is not a GM Vortec engine, so I don't know what I ordered off eBay 4 years ago, but I may have ordered the wrong thing. Now, I could spend a lot of time like replacing connectors like that alternator connector, but I think instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drink this $100 pickle beer to let me know about my failure. My lips are kind of chapped too, and it burns. And I'm gonna order a new wiring harness, so like a proper non-eBay $100 wiring harness, like one where you go to the website and they say, hey, tell us what kind of connectors you have so we can build you the right harness. So I'm gonna go bite the bullet and do that real quick, because I could spend a lot of time trying to make this work, and in the end, I could just be wasting a lot of time. So I'm gonna, cut to the chase. We're gonna get the right wiring harness. In fact, I know some of my friends have told me, hey man, you should just get like a standalone ECU for your engine. There's a good chance I should go ahead and do that and not waste a few $100 more on a wiring harness. The thing is though, like I already have the computer from this engine, so like it should theoretically work, and you can like jailbreak these and tune them and stuff. So I feel like I should at least try. Oh, I don't know. Are we gonna do it? Let's see what I order. I'll work on the RX-7 wiring harness in the meantime, but I'm gonna order something tonight, and we'll see what happens. But as I'm surfing the internet for a solution. So bad. You know, now I'm kind of sad I already drank the spicy pickle beer, because I just did a good one. We're gonna need another. We're gonna go with original because, well, we know it's terrible. Oh. Original pickle beer. not great. And I deserve something not great because I just did a really bad thing with the wiring. Like we almost just melted the entire car down. So you know when you take apart a car and you label everything, and so you go to put it back together and you just start hooking up whatever you labeled? Well, it turns out if you labeled something wrong and you go to hook it up, then you maybe almost melt your car down. So I was getting a battery hooked up. I was just going to, so I just got the steering column in. I was going to test the starter wire, or what I thought is the starter wire. Actually, it's probably the starter wire. So this is the starter wire. I wanted to hook up a battery, turn the key, and make sure it was getting 12 volts through it. So whenever the engine wiring harness gets here, which I did order a new one of those, we can hook that up and be ready to go. So I put the main fuse block back in for the RX-7 because we're going to use that to run things like the lights and the wipers and all the RX-7 stuff that I want to function like stock. And whenever I hooked up the battery using my little test leads, they kind of started melting. I don't know if you can see it there, but they started to melt. So I was like, oh, well, maybe, you know, these test leads, they're really thin. Maybe I just need a thicker gauge wire. So I hooked up a thicker 10 gauge wire and immediately popped the main fuse for the RX-7. So my next thought was, you know, I took apart all the wiring in the car. I cut a lot of things. I depinned a lot of things. Like I obviously did something wrong. Like there's a short circuit somewhere in all that mess. I'm gonna have to go find it. So I started looking around. It's gonna be like a really big short, right? It's gonna be a big gauge wire. I started looking at everything. Like everything's fine. Like there's no shorts anywhere. I started looking for melted wires inside the car. There's no melted wires anywhere. There's one blown fuse, but it's for like the dome lamp or whatever. I don't think it was that. And so then I started looking at my wiring up here. And so if you notice, we have this wire right here that would be the wire for the alternator where the battery also gets hooked up. So I hooked the positive of the battery to that. That goes in this side of the main fuse. And then coming out, the other side of the main fuse is the distribution block to go to all these littler fuses. But then also this wire right here that I had labeled as battery negative. So what I did is I grounded that wire to this bolt right here. So the, you know, the frame of the car would be the negative connection there. And if you don't understand what just happened, I can give you a visual. Have you ever accidentally touched a screwdriver or a wire or something directly in between the positive and negative terminal of the battery? Because that's exactly what I just did. I just connected the positive terminal of the battery to one side of the fuse and the other side of the fuse to the negative terminal of the battery effectively. So I just created a big ground loop or power loop. I just created a big loop and it went to try and short out the entire car. So I was really just shorting out from here to there, which isn't a big deal. The wire didn't melt, but I do now need a new 80 amp fuse, and I do now need to drink this pickle beer because that's, oh. That's a pretty good fail. I labeled the wire wrong. I don't know. I guess it's supposed to be the positive battery wire. Actually, I think there's an extra wire there for some reason. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out, but I'm gonna have to go buy a new fuse first because now I need a fuse to keep testing. So onwards, upwards, yeah. So I got new wiring harness. Talk about that when it gets here because it's pretty cool. Actually, it has a feature I wasn't planning on. Well, a feature I wanted, but I didn't know how to make work. It's gonna work as long as I don't melt the car down. So back to wiring. Actually, I have another update. So whenever I started this project, I knew that trying to start the car, I would have some sort of problem. It would be like a really stupid problem. It'd take me a long time to figure it out. And I haven't even tried to really start the car yet. We just had one of those. So we have a new main fuse that is in there. You can now hook up the power. And the car does not want to melt itself into oblivion because we are no longer connecting the positive terminal of the battery to the negative terminal of the battery through the car. So we're in a good spot. I don't know if y'all can hear this, but if you turn the key, that click there, that was the, that's the master relay for the RX-7 clicking on. So we have power too. If you press the brake pedal, we have brake lights that are going off. So the car has power, it's not melting. Theoretically, when I turn the key to start it, we should get 12 volts to the starter wire, which is right here. But that was my dumb problem. I was not getting any power to the starter wire. And like, I knew it'd be some like stupid safety feature or something that wouldn't let it turn on. And that's kind of exactly what it was. So this car was a manual, and so to start it, the clutch pedal needs to be down. So what I did is I pressed the clutch pedal all the way down, and since we don't have a master cylinder in there, there was nothing to stop it. So
our clutch pedal was down, turning the key, we should have been able to start it, right? Except the thing is, I do not know if you'll be able to see this, but the safety switch for the clutch, or the clutch down button, is back there behind this little thing right here. And since the master cylinder for the clutch isn't in there, there's nothing holding this thing that's supposed to press on the clutch switch. So whenever the clutch pedal is down, it wasn't pressing the switch, and that was the dumb thing. It took me like 3 hours to figure that out. I was going back through wiring diagrams, making sure I really had the starter wire, all that sort of stuff, only to find out that the switch for the clutch pedal, whenever you press it down, we do now get 12 volts through the starter wire. Oh, and you can also, it's really hard to hear, you probably can't hear it, but the fuel pump turns on and starts going. So we were moving in the right direction. The new wiring harness is also here. So it looks a lot like the old one, right? But it is different. So I ordered this one from PSI Conversions. They do wiring harnesses for LS swaps, and they actually, when you go to order your harness, they ask you questions like, what type of alternator connection do you have? What type of mass airflow sensor connection do you have? And they make sure you're choosing the right connections for your wiring harness. So yeah, I had some of the wrong connections before. So for the alternator here, it's a 2-pin alternator. I had a 4-pin alternator connection. The mass airflow sensor connection was wrong. And I started like de-pinning some of these connections and trying to reconnect them to myself. But I realized pretty quickly that it's not just the connectors that were potentially wrong, but the wires go in different orders too whenever you have different types of connections. So I was gonna spend a lot of time trying to make that harness work. It just wasn't gonna work. The connectors themselves are also way better quality. So I think I mentioned this before, but like the eBay Chinese harness, you could like shove it onto some connections and it would like maybe go on, but the Delphi connectors, they just snap right in just like they should. So we have a way better harness. There's still some weird things like the oxygen sensor connection. On this one, it's a male. On the Camaro harness, it's a female. So I had to order different oxygen sensors. I'm hoping that all works out. And one other important thing I found when I ordered the new harness is your computer. So the Camaro computer, like all GM computers since like the 80s or something, they have something called VATS. It's a Vehicle Anti-Theft System. And depending on the year of your car, you can either like physically bypass it on older cars, or I think starting with this year, 2010, you have to do a software bypass. So you can send it off to actually PSI. They'll sell you one, or they'll reflash yours. I tried contacting some shops around here. Nobody got back to me as usual. So I've ordered a computer thing to do it myself. We're gonna flash the computer, take the anti-theft thing off. The car would not have started with the eBay harness with the anti-theft on there. So it's another important thing to learn there. But yeah, I think we're moving in the right direction. We have like the right alternator pins now and all that sort of stuff it looks like. So I'm gonna get started putting this new harness on the car again. Whenever the computer flashy thing gets here, we'll flash that. Hopefully nothing else melts while I'm doing this, and hopefully we have the car started here in a minute. And wouldn't you know it, this is the part of the video where the camera decided to stop recording audio. Don't worry, I figured out the problem, I fixed it, and audio does come back in a second, but for now, you're gonna get me doing a voiceover of all this wonderful footage without audio. So this is me making a super funny joke that nobody had arrived to help. This is Mr. Nobody from Mr. Nobody's Garage. Make sure you check out his channel. He does other cool car stuff there. So now I'm showing Mr. Nobody that we're gonna put the battery in the trunk. I ran the wire all the way up to the front to the engine. It's been grounded at a bunch of places. It should be good to go, and eventually I will make a tray to mount the battery in the trunk. Then guess what? Alan shows up too. He's here to help out. For some reason, Alan brought a pickle costume with him, and he's trying to make me wear it right now. The thing is though, he's the one who needs to wear the pickle costume. So Alan's video last week where he talked about how he made a poor financial decision in buying his Tesla and then, well, selling it. Turns out somebody left a comment that said he needed to drink a pickle beer for his poor financial decision. So we're here convincing him that yes, he does in fact need to drink a pickle beer. So now he's dressed as a pickle, and he's going to go to the contraption he made himself a few weeks ago and get a pickle beer out of it to drink as a pickle. These are the things Alan does with his free time. So yeah, Alan's drinking a pickle beer right now. And yeah, it does not taste good. They never taste good. But yeah, there he is walking away as a pickle, drinking a pickle beer, and we're starting to fill the engine with fluids. So we're doing coolant and oil, and I think somebody made a joke. It was super funny. I can't remember what it was though. So here I'm explaining the comments some of y'all left around pickle beer rules, which is 1, if one fails, we all fail. So today, if one of us has to drink a pickle beer, we're all gonna drink a pickle beer. And then 2, they're cumulative. So you fail once, that's 1 pickle beer. You fail twice, you're drinking 2 pickle beers. You fail 3 times, well, you just drank 6 pickle beers, you're probably dead on the floor. Oh, then we get to this license plate thing. So Mr. Nobody, he does not forge documents and makes completely legitimate Texas license plates. Oh, and then we had a problem where the radiator was leaking coolant. One of the bolts I did not put thread sealant on when I put it in, and so we had the bright idea to try and take it out, put sealant on, and then put it back in with all the coolant in the car still. Right here, right now, they get the idea that it'd be pretty cool to just leave me here with my finger on the hole, keeping the coolant from draining out. So yeah, they walk away, they go to lunch or something, and they come back later. Okay, yeah, so I guess they're back from lunch, and we're putting the drain plug back in, and everybody is doubting me at this point. Oh, it exploded, but not too much, so look at that. Drain plug back in, thread seal it on, we're good to go. And oh, look at that. The audio is back, except, yeah, we just primed the fuel pump and now we smell gas. You smell gas?
Yep.
I smell gas.
For sure.
We smell gas. Hey, turn the key to off, will you?
Oh, it's getting stronger too. That's nice.
Oh, I feel it. It's up here. I think it's connection on the fuel pump. I gotta go back down. So, just clamp that bad boy down tighter. All right, so first I think you gotta read the car, and that's this button right here.
Ooh.
Reading, initializing, time remaining 2.5 minutes. So this should take 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, I think what we need to do is like you read it, you wanna save it so you have like your default map before you start changing stuff. And then we'll go in, we'll delete the anti-theft, and then we write. And so it says VATS patch 1, you go to disabled, VATS patch 2, disabled. Okay. That's it. So now we just gotta write it to the computer. Okay, we're writing. Write completed. Okay. Just make a pickle beer delivery device.
Pickle buggies. The fail beat.
My wife asked me what we were going to do, and I was like, oh, I'm just working on cars. It's like, you guys are probably going to do something stupid.
We're working on cars.
This is it. All right.
You ready to fire this thing up?
Computer's flashed. Fuel leak is taken care of. I don't want to be ready, but I'm nervous now.
And you know when you do it's going to be loud because you just...
Oh yeah.
Can I borrow some
yeah.
earplugs?
No, you don't need...
Wait. I give it a 1 in 3 chance of starting.
Ready? That didn't work.
Hang on, turn the key off and then let the fuel pump cycle again.
Yeah.
There's the fuel pump.
Here's the pump now.
There it is. Yeah, I was just saying, we're not getting... Hold on. I was going to get ragged, but... Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's fuel in there.
All right.
The throttle body actually open? Like position?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll do that again? Are you all the way down on the pedal?
I haven't tried the pedal.
Oh.
Oh,
It's moving.
there it goes. Yeah.
Alright, so we're not getting
Spark probably.
spark, yeah. You have an OBD reader?
Yeah.
Plug that in real quick. See if it pulls any codes.
Okay. So Alan just risked his life and held a spark plug while we tried to start it. We've determined we're not getting spark, so it's clearly not starting. So it may be, we have a trouble code for the clutch pedal, but the wiring harness didn't come with a way to hook a clutch pedal up. So we may have to disable that in the computer. We're not sure. We're gonna start some troubleshooting. But yeah, so we went back in the computer. There's an option called starter fault checks that was enabled. We couldn't find a way to like turn off the clutch pedal sensor, so we just turned starter fault checks to disabled. Hopefully that means it's not checking for any faults and it will send power to the coils and it will start. We'll see.
Here we go.
Steven said get the camera, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the camera. I'm gonna get. Hey, which one do you think we should? Pineapple lemonade sounds horrible. Okay.
You should get 3 of those. Do you remember the rule where if one person fails, everyone?
Just hold this. Just hold that.
Okay, so in HP tuners, there's settings for whenever you're flashing the computer. Stock setting is right calibration, which I noticed in the video, the guy, he changed it to right entire, and I did not change that, so I don't think we've been writing to the ECU.
Oh, so maybe we've just been
to right.
writing like whatever page we're currently on.
I don't know.
And not the entire map.
But yeah, so I think I need to.
Hopes are high.
Here's the thing:
Hopes are high.
If I change this and it works, that means I just don't know how to use this program. Which new program? Kind of not my fault. But I think it means everybody has to drink pickle beer, right?
We had the camera going. Everyone was excited. There was energy. There was enthusiasm.
There's pub mix.
When we started this, the pub mix was all the way full. And look how long. It's like an hourglass.
We're stress
of
eating.
how long we're stress eating. How are we going to look great this spring?
All right, what is this? Take 7.
Okay.
All right, so we reflashed with right entire. See if it works. Holy crap,
There it
that
is.
was loud.
That's like NASCAR.
Do you want to do it again?
Yeah,
I wanna do that again.
Hell yeah, I want to do that again.
Okay, I'm going to do it again.
It's gonna be loud.
All right, ready?
Fire in the hole. Yeah. Ooh, nice. You just got to get it to calm down a little bit because it's idling really high.
Oh, yeah. That's fresh.
Well,
Screen where you can monitor your
yeah, the oil pressure,
oil
yeah.
pressure and all that stuff.
It runs and it's loud as crap. The cold start, like it sounds like a freaking cannon. Like I know it doesn't come through on camera, but it's loud. And yeah, so I failed to use the computer software properly. But you guys, I mean, this is a celebration. Everybody needs one, right?
We
Wow!
It's
exciting enough.
Yeah, wait, if I'm drinking, it's not gonna be this one.
The orange one's not bad.
I called dibs on the,
Oh, the strawberry?
the fruity one. Yeah, if I have to do
lemon
this.
pickle. All right.
But please explain why we're drinking. What did we do wrong?
You didn't do anything. It's a team effort.
Right, but did you guys even vote to make that a thing?
No, the internet just does what it does.
Oh, the internet said so.
Cheers. It's all over the fire extinguisher.
Congratulations.
Wow, here's to failure.
Wow. Oh, so bad.
I got the orange one. It's not the worst.
This is like salty and lemony at the same time.
Yeah. How's the strawberry?
No.
Just no.
That's awesome.
I know, right? I'm excited. I mean,
Yeah.
like, when it didn't start, I was like, oh man, it's probably some dumb thing, but like, it wasn't starting. That was
Always the littlest
Yeah.
dumb things that you never really.
the little freaking drop down menu, right calibrate, right
Yeah.
entire. Like, who would know? Apparently, when you're rewriting VATS, the security system, you have to do right entire in HP tuner. So if you're doing an LS swap, look out for that.
Wow. I'll be coming upon this shortly. Well, not really shortly. I'm still way behind.
No, I mean, you really,
I'm not
your
gonna
engine's in.
I'm not gonna meet you at that spot that you sent to
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make that.
But if you didn't know, he's LS swapping a DeLorean. So if you haven't checked out Mr. Nobody's channel, make sure you go check out that because it will be another red car with an LS in it from the 80s. It'll be awesome. And the doors go up. So yeah, I think that's it. We made a start. That's the goal. And there was only a few pickle beers in this episode, but you know what? They were worth it because that's a huge step forward. Like we didn't even know. I bought this engine 4 years ago off eBay. I figured, because I was going to install it like in a week, right? If you didn't restore it, they have like eBay's 30-day money back guarantee or whatever. I don't think they take it back now, but yeah, it runs.
You don't want to give it back
Yeah, it
now.
started and it
Sounds
ran.
good.
It started and
both.
it ran, yeah, for a while, and now we just need to make it roll again, make it go. We need to get a rear engine, put a drive shaft in, or order a drive shaft. But yeah, so I think the next step is to get it back on all fours. I ordered the body kit the other day, so that should be coming. Yeah.
Cool.
So a lot of fun stuff coming up for the RX-7, but for now, it runs. Big success. Here's to failure and success. See you later.
I'm more familiar
It's
with
not-
those than the other.
Oh yeah, it's not good.
Still no.
All right, so the other day, Alan and myself and nobody got the car started right. We go inside, we're like so proud of ourselves. And we say to my wife, hey, did you hear the car start out there? Because it was so loud. And she's like, no. And she seemed very unimpressed that we got the car started. So I know like the sound, like the decibel level does not convey no matter how loud you have your volume turned up. So we're gonna invite her in real quick, start the car, and see what she thinks.
Dad, where does Uncle Alan's feet come out?
Pickles don't have feet.
Oh, I guess Uncle Alan doesn't have a feet.
Yeah.
He wanted to see you drive it out of here.
There's no wheels, sir. No wheels. We're working on that.
What else you put magnets on the floor?
Now you're onto something. Magnets would work.
Hey, you know how you can set the DJI drones to like track you and follow you?
Yeah.
What if you had to do?
Oh, now you have to drink it.
Drink that pickle beer.
That's still good. Oh no, because if he drinks it, we all have to drink it.
Okay. Should we push the wiring harness forward so you don't have to get it on?
Oh yeah. Too bad.
You didn't get enough let out. Hold on.
Oh, that's a failure. You're gonna have to drink that one.